one song and then read a poem. So the song, I'm going to sing a Bob Dylan song from one of his early albums. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. It's a song that I was singing around the folk clubs in the 1960s. And it's an early Bob Dylan song. But first of all, I will just recite you a poem. The poem paints a picture of London in the 1960s as seen through the eyes of a chain-smoking teenage boy. With plumbers' mates and Woodbine, Sweet Afton and Park Drive, 20 Capstan full strength, lucky to be alive. Riding up Sun Valley, Old Holborn, strong and sweet. Rizzler ridden a box of Swan, a smoker's life complete. Smoking down in Stockwell, puffing up Park Lane, rolling fags down Regent Street to Leicester Square again, until my head was spinning, to London I had come, immature and innocent, in 1961, when sixpence was a tanner, a shilling was a bob, 12 coppers to a shilling, I had a handy job. Oh, how my pockets jingled, no credit cards were found, 5 florins to a 10-bob note and 8 half-crowns a pound. Walking back to happiness, happy birthday, sweet 16. Jiving at the 100 Club when trad jazz was the scene. Coffee at the Two Eyes, Old Compton Street, my home. Heaven and hell, the macabre as well, I soon found where to roam. Down Windmill Street to the circus, up Greek Street to the square. Soho was my playground, a lad without a care. In a suit from Berwick Market that only cost £5. With drainpipe pants and Cuban heels, I really got around. In a pair of winkle pickers, I'd often stand and stare, reflected in shop windows, combing brill-creamed hair. Dave Brubeck at the Marquee, Alexis playing blues, the Troubadour in Chelsea, so many gigs to choose. All night at the Flamingo to see young Georgie Fame, singing at the keyboard while I played my teenage game. When Doreen was a dancer who came from Canning Town, she thought I looked artistic. I thought she'd been around. I used to go and see her down the Sunset Strip. My innocence soon ended when she let her garter slip. At 17 I was a mod, loved the Kinks, the Who and Rod. Drove my Vespa down Cheapside, all the girls screamed for a ride. Levi jeans, Ben Sherman shirts, chatting up girls in mini-skirts. Down King's Road in shoes of suede, ever impatient to get laid. Frothy coffee, pinball games. Townsend sang I Can't Explain. Jukebox with the volume high, Friday night up west we'd fly. High on blues then coming down, dancing close to Tamla Motown. Getting drunk at all-night parties, popping pills like they were Smarties. Doing wheelies at Waterloo, after work I'd wait for you. Off to Brighton, feeling free, candy floss and a sunset sea. Wearing parkas along the prom, summertime, the air was warm. Sleeping under the midnight pier, bag of chips and a can of beer. You studied drama up the Strand. At 1 o'clock I held your hand. To Lyons Corner House we flew, cheese on toast and tea for two. I always loved the clothes you wore, the perfect image of Sandy Shore. You walked around devoid of shoes, then dumped me for a fella in the Moody Blues. He picked you up in his MGB, on the town for a spending spree. Whiskey and coke in Chelsea pubs, backstage pass to all the trendy clubs. In Polaroids I rode around, looking cool in London town. Singing whatever will be, plenty of spearfish in the sea. Meeting dates on Bond Street Station, talking about my generation. The year was 1964, when all the girls looked like Sandy Shore. Sitting on me beanbag with me joystick in the air, smoking marijuana without a single care, getting high on rosé wine with flowers in me hair. Hey man, I used to be a hippie. Went to see the Rolling Stones play Free down in Hyde Park. I even swam the Serpentine, naked I was stark. And then a gang of skinheads broke me nose just for a lark. Hey man, I used to be a hippie. Jethro Tull, the string band, Mark Bolan and T-Rex, platform shoes and earrings and nylon polo necks, with only one thing on my mind, and that was teenage sex. Hey man, I used to be a hippie. Clapton, Ginger Baker and Jimi Hendrix too. We'd see them at the Roundhouse, say man, they really flew, with Ginger drumming up a storm before the night was through. Hey man, I used to be a hippie. I'd spend all night in Soho singing in a coffee bar. At 3 a.m. the street girls came, thought I was a star. But when they'd smoked up all me dope, they said I'd not go far. Hey man, I used to be a hippie. We'd walk across from Bungees to Cousins in the night. Soho was our playground with neon burning bright. We'd sing the songs of protest, thought we'd set the world alight. Hey man, I used to be a hippie. Simon and Garfunkel, Bert Yance and Ralph McTell, he sang the streets of London, those streets we knew so well. Sally Free and Easy, Cyril liked to sing, while Ewan loved to listen to Peggy's banjo ring. Who knows where the time goes, sweet Sandy Denny said. Who would think a pretty girl like her would end up dead? The passing years have faded into ancient history. Hey man, I used to be a hippie. My love, she speaks like silence, without ideals of violence. Doesn't have to say she's faithful, yet she's true like ice, like fire. People carry roses and make promises by the hours. My love, she laughs like the flowers, Valentine's and by her. In the dime stores and bus stations, people talk of situations, read books, repeat quotations, draw conclusions on the wall. Some speak of the future, my love, she speaks softly, knows there's no success like failure. Failure's no success at all. The cloak and dagger dangles, madams light the candles, in ceremonies of the horseman, even the pawn must hold a grudge. Statues made of matchsticks crumble into one another. My love winks, she does not bother. She knows too much to argue or to judge. The bridge at midnight trembles, the country doctor rambles, banker's nieces seek perfection, expecting all the gifts that wise men bring. Oh, the wind howls like a hammer, the night blows cold and rainy. My love, she's like some raven at my window with a broken wing. My love, she speaks like silence, without ideals of violence. Doesn't have to say she's faithful, she's true like ice, like fire. People carry roses, make promises by the hours. My love, she laughs like the flowers, Valentine's can buy her. Valentine's can buy her. Valentine's can buy her. Happy Christmas to everybody. Happy Christmas.